to initialize an array, it's a way to basically store a lot of things. Like, for example, a list of numbers, a list of ages, maybe property addresses, you know, instead of like, for example, conventional variable declarations like int x is equal to 9 that you usually to manually assign. An array works in similar way, right? But let's say you wanted to have ages, and then but now you just basically assign it as so. You just remove that, right? So, and then within this, think of this as positions. So they start from the way arrays work is that they're particular indexes, right? This is very important. So, and these indexes, they start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., all the way until infinity. So, all the way until infinity, right? So, when you place an element in the array, let's say you're adding this number 1. This number 1 is stored at index number 0. So if you want to print it later, you have to reference index number 0. So let's just say, let's put some ages. Let's say 15, 21, 67, 90, right? You're going to store ages maybe of people in a particular class, you know. All right, cool, right? So how do you now print this? So it's simple. Um, yeah, it's relatively simple. So now all you got to do is just basically say south, and then within that parenthesis, you just print the variable ages. But if you print ages without referencing, how will that work? It gives you a memory address, and you also specifying as well. So, but you have to specify the index so that it knows what to print. So if you say let's print index 0, which is the first position, we should be able to print the first number, which is 15. And then we can do the same. We're going to move the next line. Oopsie daisy. We can remove the next line, and then we can just copy and paste this, Control C, and then we can just manipulate the index position to the various positions. So it's index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, and now let's print. What will it display? Exception, error. Why? Build failure. Because something is out of bounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nothing in the fourth position. You see. So now let's check that, and let's run it again. There's no spaces in between the numbers. So let me just add some separators. Let me just add some separators between the numbers so that we can actually discern between where they end. All right, now let's run that. So now you can see 15, 21, 67, and 90. All of these numbers are now getting printed by referencing just the variable name and the index position in which they appear. And remember, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. And we got an error when we tried to reference a fourth position because it does not exist. There's no number in that position. Yeah, that's basically how we can do basic prints within uh, within Java. All right, but this might be considered a bit messy and inefficient for some people, right? So let's say we don't want to do it like that. We don't want to display it like that. So we can use a for loop. So with the for loop, it's quite straightforward. So with the for loop, it's broken up into three parts. So for int I, is equal to 0, right? And then we say ages, um, we say I is less than ages, and then dot length is basically a count uh, um, of how many elements are within that length, right? And then we just I and then plus plus, it just basically iterates over the set condition. Oopsie daisy. Ages. Yeah, I'm too used to Python. Okay, let's go here. Let's fix that here. All right, cool. So now what's happening here is that this is the first condition for the integer of I at index 0. Um, and then it's going to iterate until it's reached the length, which is the length of the amount of elements which are here. So the index, remember, so 0, 1, 2, 3 is the maximum. So for that, we're basically going to say print, and then we're going to just put in the variable again, which is ages, and we're going to put I as the condition. So now let's run that. So now you see in just 2 lines of code, we're able to print the same numbers instead of having a chain of system.outs, which can be quite messy and difficult to read. So here we're just looking at the length. So it's just a mod. This period just basically says I want to access these a method, and then there's a method called length that basically counts for us, right? So just so that you understand, and then I plus plus just means that I gets iterated or increased by 1 each time for the duration that this length has not been exceeded. So this is almost like a limit. It's a limit that says that this loop is going to continue until all of the things are satisfied.